Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Today I want to talk about my atmosphere pack. I just released a sample pack with a whole bunch of atmospheres, 170 files to be exact. It's almost 1.2 gigabytes worth of samples. There's also a free version and I quickly wanted to go over how you can get them because there were some problems with the website this morning. As of the day of recording, it's the day that I posted this, so this video will be out a little bit later. But in the first few hours I had some problems with the actual publishing of the sample pack, but it should be up now as you're seeing this video. So going to the website, quickly you can see if I go to products, you will be directed to the site here where you can scroll through all the products, and then right here you can get the free demo, which I highly recommend also for following this tutorial. If you want to follow along, then it's really easy and you have some free files to experiment with to decide if you want to actually buy it. And if you're ready to buy it, then you can click right there and it will guide you to the website where you can actually make the purchase. So once you've downloaded the sample pack, you can see the free one here. You just get a bunch of files which you can drag into your project. But for the paid one, you have 5 different keys. So each of these folders has samples in different keys. As you can see, this is all A#. And the next one is all C# here. And again, you can just drag them into your project and work with them. So the idea for the sample pack was to really make something that you can just drag into your project, as you said, and have something that immediately works right out of the box. They're all normalized, so they're all at 0 dB, which is how I like to use my samples. This means that the level of your sample is going to be directly set by the fader knob that you have in your DAW. That's just the way I like to mix. That way I can do a visual mix where I can just set an exact volume and I know that the sample is going to play at that volume. So that's very, very useful for just your mixing workflow. But there's a few different ways that you can use these samples that I wanted to go over. First, I just wanted to say a few things on just dragging them in to your project. And then I'll talk a little bit about more advanced sampling techniques that you can use to really get the most out of these samples. So when dragging them into your project as normal, they will just work in there. There's not really any rhythmical material in there, so you don't really have to warp anything. They were all made at a BPM of 145, but that isn't really important because, as I said, there is no rhythmic element in there. There are a few points of interest that might be relevant though. Some of the atmospheres that I make kind of build up to a certain point. So here's a good example of that. I'll quickly play you this. You can hear that this nicely rises up to a certain point. Now, what I would recommend instead of warping this file, as you can see what I've done, if I wanted to rise up to this 21 here, I've just placed it before so that it rises up there exactly. And in Ableton, if you want to have really fine control, you can just drag it and then holding Alt, you can have very precise control of where you want to put it directly on the timeline so that you can set it exactly where you want it to end. So in my opinion, that's kind of the best way to use them. For most samples, this is not going to be a problem because, as I said, most of them don't really have a point like this where they kind of build up to, but some of them do, and that is how I would use them without having any warping artifacts in the samples. Now say that you have found an atmosphere that you like, but you don't really like the timing of it, then there's another trick that you can use to actually change the timing without changing the tone too much, and that is to use a sampler. So here I have an example. I'll just quickly enable this. This is a very short sample here. You can see it just is basically 4 bars of buildup and then 4 bars of it going back down again. Now let's say that I want to double that timing here. What I've done is I've loaded that exact same sample into a sampler. You can see it right here. And I've set it to looping mode. So you can see looping is enabled. I've set a fairly short length, which is where you can experiment to get different tones from it. One thing that you need to note is that changing the length as well as the transpose will change the eventual key of your sample. So you can tune it both with the tuning itself or with this length parameter here. Now for this particular value, what we had is that it was actually perfect in the sense that when I was playing this C3 key, it was playing the exact tone that I wanted it to. So we can go into that and we can just see what key it is playing. You can see from the first 2 harmonics that it's actually playing at A#, which is the original key of this sample. Now, if you want for some reason to play this with a keyboard, you can also transpose it up. So I can set this to +2, and then the key it will hit is actually the key of C. So now to set it up and to have it actually go through the sample, what you would need to do is automate this start parameter. And this is going to determine where that looping point is going to start. So as you can see right now, it's just scrubbing through the sample, and that will just kind of slowly play it back and give you that effect of it being twice as long. But you can get more complicated than that. Say that, for example, you want a little bit more stuff happening like this, and then you want it to go up like this. You can get different kind of results, different atmospheres from that as well. So then you can process them further, maybe add some delay and reverb. I've left these samples deliberately a little bit drier than I would usually have my atmospheres, so that you can, if you decide to process them, add some more delay and reverb on top of them. I think it's very useful to have samples that are capable of being extra processed like that. So that's kind of how I designed them, with that kind of mindset. But that's not the only cool thing we can do with a sampler. We can actually use this technique as well to create synth sounds. So here's a quick synth sound that I made also with a sample from the atmosphere pack. So you can hear nice gritty synth, nice and stereo, and it sounds really cool. The way I've done this is, again, kind of a similar technique, only I've set a loop length which is much shorter on a sample which is much longer. And again, here you need to make sure that the tuning is correct. So in this case, I needed to set it to +1 to get the tuning right. Again, what you would need to do is you can use this EQ here. And let's just for now turn off the low pass, which is on there. And you can get the key from that and make sure that it corresponds to your MIDI note that you're playing. So here I've just set up a quick patch. As you can see, it's the same idea with the looping. And I've set a random LFO to the starting point, so it just triggers from different positions. And you can set mapping to restrain it to a certain area of the sample if you want to. I also added an arpeggio so that it's a little bit more trance-gatey sounding. If you don't have it, it will just continuously play like this. Which might also be what you're after, but with an arpeggio you can give it that little bit more sequency, plucky feeling. If you're using an arpeggio, I would highly recommend that you set a little bit of attack here. You can see I've set 0.29 milliseconds, so that's a very short attack. Otherwise you're gonna have some little clicks maybe at the start. So without it, it sounds like this, and there might be some clicks in there. So just a little bit of attack to clean up the sample when you're playing it so that it doesn't click when it starts to play. Finally, if you want to use them within a synth that I highly recommend that you use for this kind of stuff is Vital. Vital has a really nice feature in when it imports wavetables, in that it almost always works with any file type. I found that with Serum it's a little bit harder to get it to work properly. I had some issues with files not loading correctly, files not being recognized correctly, and not actually being turned into wavetables. So with Vital it's a lot easier for that, and you can do whatever you want with them, again using it as a wavetable. So here's another quick synth that I made out of it. This is just a wavetable going through distortion and a delay in Vital. In this case we get a nice metallic kind of sound, which I also really like. So this is what I wanted to show for today. Just wanted to give you some inspiration onto how to actually use these samples. If you're not interested in buying the sample pack, I highly recommend you still download the free sample pack. There's going to be again a link down below in the description. So you can just go there and decide for yourself maybe if you want to buy it in the future, test it out, see if you like the sounds that are in there, and then maybe make the purchase, or just use the free sample pack as a free sample pack. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you enjoyed the sample pack if you have already downloaded it. I hope it can be helpful with your inspiration. But for now, this is going to be it for the video. If you're new here and you're interested in more sample packs, I have other sample packs on my website as well. Before, when I scrolled through the products, you could have already seen them. But if you're interested in my sample packs, you can just go to the link in the description again and just check them all out. If there's anything else in there that interests you. Most of the other sample packs also have free demos, as well as my Psytrance preset packs for Serum. They also have free demos, so you can get all of the free stuff there and use that for your music. So if you're new here and you want to see more videos of me, more actual tutorials, then I would suggest you subscribe. There's a little bell icon that you can click to get notified by YouTube. It'll give you a notification, which is really useful. If you enjoyed the video, then leave a like, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye.